morning. I'm Mark of the Church of the Living God, the pillar and ground of the truth. Today our study is on trust in me. God often wants us to trust in Him, for He said, if you step near to me, I will step near to you. Today's lesson deals with Sennacherib. He was a monarch who reigned in the ancient Assyrian Empire for 25 years. Now, he thought he really ruled the world. His name is found 13 times in the Old Testament, but most notably, he is mentioned in the Bible in connection with the invasion of Syria and Palestine. He came west to put down a revolt in Phoenicia, then in Judah, over King Hezekiah, who reigned for 29 years. Hezekiah became the king at 25. Remember, it was Saul who was the king, then it was David, then it was Solomon. Then after that, the kingdom split into Israel and to Judah. Hezekiah was king of Judah. Now, the biblical text reads as follows in 2 Kings 18:13. Now, in the 14th year of King Hezekiah did Sennacherib, king of Assyria, come up against all the fortified cities of Judah and took them. The Assyrian records state that he took 46 fortified cities and captured numerous other smaller communities. But Sennacherib bragged that he took 200,000 captives, men, women, young, and old, surrounded Jerusalem while the king himself remained for a while at Lachish, about 25 miles southwest of the holy city. Only the Assyrian ruler did not capture Jerusalem. Now, he boasts of his victories, but regarding Jerusalem, he was eerily silent. What happened? Hezekiah, who was the king, again, he came in very young at 25. He was being led by Isaiah, who was the prophet at that time. Isaiah had been a prophet for many of the kings, and he was the superstar at that particular time. There were many other prophets that were on the periphery, but Isaiah was there in the king's court. King Hezekiah was very afraid of this Assyrian ruler. Well, who wouldn't be? I mean, he had been ruling and conquering the known world at that particular time. He even gave him 300 talents of silver and 30 talents of gold. That's like giving 11 tons of silver and a ton of gold. Remember, a ton equals 2,000 pounds. This precious bounty was stripped from where? The sacred temple of the king's palace. Remember, there were only two temples, Solomon, and then again later on by Hiram, on the same grounds as Solomon. Now, presently, Hezekiah decided to appeal to God in prayer. Not tragic how often that the Lord is consulted as the last resort. He should have consulted God at first. The Jewish ruler approached Isaiah and asked him to petition God on his behalf for the remnant, what was left of the people. And the Lord did answer. By all means did he answer. Listen to what he did. And it came to pass that night that the angel or messenger of God went forth and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. One angel did that. And when men arose early in the morning, behold, these were all dead bodies. 2 Kings 19:35, Isaiah 37:36, and Psalm 76. Sennacherib's arrogance, blasphemy against God was answered by a sizable conglomerate of corpses. There are some who wrote later this was done by divine intervention. I believe it was Herodias who said there was a whole bunch of mice that came and chewed up the quivers and bowstrings and shield straps. No, it was God. Lord Byron himself said that there was an epic death of Sennacherib. Now remember, Sennacherib did not die, but again, they didn't want to give God the credit. This will get us in trouble, not giving God the credit. That's why God said, trust in me. The prophecy had come along through Isaiah when he said, be not afraid of the words you have heard from Sennacherib's threat, by which the servants of the king of Assyria has blasphemed against me, God. Behold, I will put a spirit in him, and he shall hear news, and shall return to his own land. I will cause him to fall by his own sword in his own land. 2 Kings 19:6. That prophecy did come true. Even though other military campaigns, he still was afraid of the mess with Jerusalem. He never came back to the small city again. God will put the fear in people when he's on your side. In his last days, when he was praying with his own gods, that his two sons came up to him, Adramelech and Sharezer, and smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Ararat. And his other son took reign. In this ironical twist, a Syrian ruler who boasted that God could not protect Jerusalem himself was murdered as he was worshiping his own God. God says, trust in me. Sometimes because we can't see God, or we don't go to church enough so we can't hear God through his messenger, the preachers, that it's hard to believe and trust in God. Yes, we know he exists, but listen, if you can have the faith, Jesus said, it's a mustard seed that you can move mountains. Another scripture says, into the sea. Well, that ends today's lesson. And God says, trust in me. Well, have a great rest of the week. And remember, God is always